A casual day at Miami Beach turned into complete chaos when Jack Doherty came face to face with an entire gang. What started as trash talk quickly escalated into one of the most dangerous confrontations ever caught on camera. Security footage shows the exact moment everything went wrong. But before we show you exactly what happened, you need to understand just how quickly this situation spiraled out of control. In just 30 seconds, Jack went from filming content with his friends to being surrounded by over 20 angry gang members. His security team, trained to handle almost any situation, was completely overwhelmed. The tension had been building all day. Jack and his crew were filming their usual beach content, but something felt different. The energy was off. Multiple people had already complained about their behavior, but Jack, being Jack, kept pushing buttons until he found the wrong one. Let's break down exactly what happened in what might be Jack's most dangerous encounter yet. The confrontation started when a man in a white tank top approached Jack's crew. At first, it seemed like any other beach interaction, until the man started mentioning territory. "You get away from me, watch your kids go walk away," Jack says, clearly not understanding the severity of the situation. But what Jack didn't realize was that this wasn't just another angry beachgoer. This was someone connected to one of Miami's most notorious street groups. Within seconds, the situation went from bad to worse. You can see in the footage how quickly the crowd grows. First 2 people, then 5, then suddenly over 20 individuals surrounding Jack and his security team. The most shocking part? Security cameras caught multiple members making phone calls, actively calling in reinforcements. Jack's security team, usually calm and collected, started showing visible concern. You can see the exact moment they realize they're outnumbered. But instead of de-escalating, Jack makes perhaps the biggest mistake of his career. "Hey, I got a pineapple to security," Jack announces, holding up the fruit like it's some kind of weapon. This bizarre attempt at intimidation only makes the situation more volatile. The gang members, already agitated, see this as a direct challenge. What happens next is something rarely caught on camera. One of the gang members steps forward, revealing something that makes even Jack's security team freeze. The threat is clear, and suddenly the power dynamic shifts completely. But here's where things get even more intense. While everyone's focused on the main confrontation, security cameras catch something happening in the background that nobody noticed until now. Multiple gang members can be seen strategically positioning themselves around Jack's escape routes, effectively cutting off any chance of a quick exit. The tension reaches its peak when one of the gang members steps forward with an ultimatum that would change everything. The ultimatum was simple but terrifying: leave immediately or face consequences. But what happened next shocked everyone watching. Instead of backing down, Jack's security guard makes a decision that would completely change the outcome. With years of experience handling high-risk situations, Jack's guard recognized something most people missed. Several of the gang members were carrying concealed weapons. This wasn't just about territory anymore. This was about survival. "You got 100, 200, 300, everything you want to see, where we from, boy," one member shouts, making it clear this isn't their first confrontation. But Jack's security team had an ace up their sleeve. They'd already quietly called for backup. While all this is happening, the beach crowd starts gathering. Hundreds of phones come out, all recording what could potentially become one of the most viral street confrontations of 2024. But here's what most of those recordings missed: the strategic way Jack's security team was slowly creating an exit route. "Watch out, yeah, keep getting close, I'm throwing," Jack continues, still clutching his pineapple, completely oblivious to the actual escape plan being executed around him. His security team later revealed they were using Jack's provocative behavior as a distraction while they positioned themselves for extraction. But just when it seemed like they had a way out, something unexpected happens. A familiar face appears in the crowd, someone from Jack's past who would completely change the dynamic of this confrontation. Remember that ex-girlfriend drama from last month? Well, she shows up with her new boyfriend, who just happens to be connected to this same group. The tension suddenly doubles as personal beef mixes with territorial disputes. "You're annoying. Move on with your life. You're always blowing up people's lives. You're annoying. You need a life," she shouts, adding fuel to an already explosive situation. The gang members, now with even more reason to escalate, start closing in. This is where Jack's security team proves why they're worth every penny. In a move that would later be studied by other security professionals, they execute a perfect extraction strategy. But the way they pull it off is something you have to see to believe. The next 60 seconds would become some of the most intense footage ever captured on Miami Beach, showing exactly why you don't mess with the wrong people in their own territory. Those 60 seconds changed everything. Jack's security team executed what can only be described as a military-grade extraction, but it came at a cost that nobody expected. First, they created a diversion. While Jack was still arguing with his ex, his security team strategically positioned their vehicles. What looked like random movement was actually a carefully coordinated plan they'd used before, but never with stakes this high. "I'll party with you just like anybody else," Jack shouts, still trying to play it cool even as his security team frantically signals him to shut up. But here's what most people missed in all the chaos. Jack's main security guard was actually communicating with local law enforcement the entire time. The extraction itself happened in 3 phases. Security footage shows how they used the gathering crowd as a natural barrier, pushing back the gang members without making it obvious. In a move straight out of a Hollywood movie, they had 3 identical black SUVs pull up simultaneously. Why 3? Because they dealt with situations like this before, where angry groups would follow their vehicle. But phase 3 is where things got intense. Just as they're about to get Jack into one of the vehicles, the gang members make their final move. Security cameras caught what happened next from 3 different angles, and each one shows something more shocking than the last. "All my moderators are gonna go watch," one gang member shouts into his phone, clearly calling for even more backup. But they were too late. The extraction team had already initiated their final countermove. In the chaos that followed, 2 security guards sustained injuries, 3 phones were destroyed, and one of the SUVs took serious damage. But somehow, they managed to get Jack out alive. The aftermath was immediate and intense. Within hours, clips of the confrontation flooded social media. But here's what makes this situation different from Jack's previous controversies. This time, even his biggest defenders couldn't spin it in his favor. The incident sparked a massive debate online about content creators pushing boundaries too far. Several high-profile streamers, including some of Jack's closest allies, spoke out about the dangerous trend of provocative IRL streaming. But the real consequences came later, when Miami Beach authorities got involved. Their investigation revealed something about that day that nobody saw coming. The Miami Beach authorities' investigation uncovered a disturbing pattern. This wasn't the first time this particular gang had confronted content creators. Security footage from previous months showed at least 3 other similar incidents, but none had escalated to this level. What made Jack's situation different was the perfect storm of circumstances. First, his history of provocative content had already put him on their radar. Second, his ex-girlfriend's connection to the group gave them personal motivation. But the third factor? That's where things get interesting. Turns out, Jack had unknowingly walked into a much bigger situation. That specific stretch of Miami Beach had recently become contested territory between rival groups. His presence there, filming and acting confrontational, was seen as a direct challenge during an already tense time. But here's where the story takes an unexpected turn. Remember that pineapple Jack was holding? Police later revealed it wasn't just a random fruit he picked up. Security cameras caught something fascinating just minutes before the confrontation. The pineapple was actually being used as a territorial marker by local vendors, all of whom had to pay protection money to operate in that area. When Jack grabbed it and started waving it around, he unknowingly sent a very specific message to the wrong people. This revelation sparked a whole new investigation into beach vendor operations, but that's not even the craziest part. 2 days after the incident, someone leaked the group's private chat logs, revealing their real motivation for confronting Jack. The messages showed a coordinated effort to target content creators, but not for the reasons everyone assumed. It wasn't about territory or respect. It was about something much more calculated. They were actually working with a rival content creator, someone who had been planning to take down Jack's operation for months. The evidence was hidden in plain sight, but nobody caught it until now. When this information came to light, several other content creators came forward with similar stories, each one adding another piece to a puzzle that revealed a much bigger conspiracy within the streaming community. But just as investigators were closing in on the mastermind behind it all, something happened that changed everything. A mysterious video surfaced online, showing the real reason Jack was at that specific beach location that day. That mysterious video changed everything. It showed Jack meeting with someone in a parking garage 2 days before the beach incident. But it wasn't just any meeting. It was with the same rival content creator who was supposedly working with the gang. The video reveals something nobody expected. This entire confrontation was staged, or at least it was supposed to be. Jack and his rival had planned a fake confrontation to go viral, but they made one crucial mistake. They didn't tell the real gang members about their plan. "I can get anything for you tonight," the rival creator promises in the footage. But what Jack didn't know was that this creator had lost control of his own plan. The gang members he claimed to have hired were actually real members who had no idea they were part of a staged confrontation. This revelation sent shockwaves through the streaming community. Major creators like Kai Cenat and iShowSpeed immediately cut ties with Jack, but the biggest reaction came from Adin Ross during a live stream that got so heated his mods had to end it early. Jack tried to explain in a damage control stream, but his viewers weren't buying it anymore. His attempt to manufacture content had backfired in the worst possible way. The aftermath continues to unfold. 3 content houses have banned Jack from their properties. His security team quit, releasing a statement that exposed even more behind-the-scenes manipulation. But perhaps the most devastating consequence, his entire network of Miami connections, the ones he spent years building, completely cut him off. As of today, Jack hasn't returned to Miami Beach. His content has shifted back to controlled environments, but his viewer numbers tell the real story. His last 5 streams averaged just 13% of his usual viewership, and those numbers keep dropping. But here's the real question everyone's asking. Was this the end of Jack Doherty's reign as IRL streaming's biggest risk taker? Or was this all part of an even bigger plan we just can't see yet? If you thought this situation was intense, comment down below. Click here to watch this next video. And don't forget to subscribe for more shocking streamer moments that the mainstream media won't show you.